one of the main issues that most marketers have is not really understanding all the technical aspects of SEO and how to really associate their content strategy to SEO. We all know it's important. We know it has something to do with Google algorithms, but we do leave it up to our SEO experts a lot if we ever decide to hire one. And the time has come, I believe, for us as marketers and even salespeople to really get a basic foundation of how SEO is important to your business today, especially because of current circumstances where you're now more than ever forced to be online and your interactions with your customers are going to be online. So you do need to make sure that your prospects can find you while your sales teams are not able to go out and do field marketing and field sales as they used to pre-corona days. So SEO is one of those ways that will really help either surge your business and help it increase over the next couple of months, or we would see that many businesses will suddenly fall out the bandwagon, as they say, because nobody can find that they exist and nobody knows that they exist. So SEO is really the way to get things done. So I would like to begin, first of all, by introducing you to Tom O'Harrell. He will tell us a bit about his agency. He's also a HubSpot partner. So Tom will tell you shortly about himself rather. In the meantime, though, I want to set the foundation of what you can expect for us to cover in today's workshop. So as we mentioned, it's all about SEO, and we want to take you through some very strategic points about SEO. First, we're going to look at how keywords are used versus topics. Everybody's talking about focusing on topics. So this is a lot about semantics SEO. So we will explain a bit about this. Then we want to help you understand how do you determine that your SEO is successful or not. So we will show you how to measure and track SEO success. And then we would like to walk you through a new sort of terminology called content clusters. So we will explain what exactly are content clusters and how you build them. And then we will give you a short demo about how SEO is done in HubSpot, as well as take you through some recommended tools for using SEO. And of course, tie everything into talking about the key takeaways and any questions that you may have. So first of all, you all should know me by now. My name is Risa Gooding. I'm from Cacao Media. And Cacao is a Platinum HubSpot agency. We work globally in Tel Aviv, New York, and Nairobi in Kenya. And we specialize only in HubSpot. So our goal is really to help you understand, if you're using HubSpot already, how to use HubSpot for your business and how to get the most out of it. This is a platform that you've invested in, and we want to make sure that you are using it to the full potential, because I must tell you, in my experience of meeting HubSpot clients, they aren't even using 10% of the platform as they should. So my goal is to get you up to 90%, if not 100% of using the platform. We work with many different types of companies in many different industries. So whether you're a medical company, a startup company, a travel company, even agriculture, everyone knows today that they have to use HubSpot. Because we are in Israel, though, we decided to help bring you a lot of content in Hebrew. So although today's workshop is in English, we do have some workshops in Hebrew for those people who feel better, easier to communicate in Hebrew, of course. Don't worry, I'm not going to try to speak your lovely language. So I do not do the Hebrew workshops. I have other members of my team who actually do them. But you can join our LinkedIn group called HubSpot Customers Israel to find out when they're coming along. And you could also use this group to ask any questions in Hebrew about anything that you would like to understand better in HubSpot. So we offer a wide range of services. As you know, it's all related to HubSpot, but we do do all of your marketing strategy and all the execution. So mainly a lot of companies use us as the extension of their marketing and even their sales teams. So whatever your issues are, whatever challenges you're facing within your company, and if you just need a second eye or second opinion or even someone to bounce ideas off, we are sometimes the perfect partner for this. But feel free to call us and we'll be happy to talk more about how we can help you. At this stage, I'd really like to hand over to Thomas. So Tom, as I mentioned, is from Key Scouts, another HubSpot partner. but he will tell you all about himself. So thank you, Tomo, and welcome, and really appreciate that you're coming here today. So you can share your screen, Tomo, and you take it over from here.
Okay, Risa, thank you so much. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we do hear you.
All
Everything
right,
bright and nice.
just testing. So first of all, it's a privilege to be here, and thank you for inviting me. My name is Tomer, and I'm the head of Key Scouts. We are a full-service digital marketing agency based here in Israel, working primarily with B2B technology clients, mostly um, aiming at the international market. Uh, Company was established 15 years ago. We are a small team of sharks with a big impact on, at least we hope so, on our customers' businesses. And during this time, we've worked with hundreds of customers from all types of sizes. Many of them you probably know. And I'm humbled to be here and share a little bit of our knowledge. I know Risa from mutual work in the past, and also the fact that we are both HubSpot certified brings us closer together. So without further ado, I want to we decided to dedicate this webinar to what SEO really means nowadays compared maybe to the traditional perception of the past, because a lot has changed during the past several years. And I want to start with explaining what semantic SEO means, because this is the foundation of everything else we will discuss in this presentation. So I don't know how many of you knew Google when they just got started, but it was all about keywords at the beginning. So you would simply type what you're looking for, and Google would bring you the best results based on how many instances of a keyword they would find on a page and how many links were pointed to that page. And that's, in a nutshell, a pretty vague description of how it worked at the beginning. But in the past several years, Google became, and they're still in the process of becoming, a lot smarter than when they just got started. So, and they actually introduced semantic search to the world, and I want to explain what semantic search is and what it means for SEO. So the idea is really that Google tries to understand the natural language the same way a human would. So if you're typing a certain query in Google, they try to really understand the intention behind what you're typing, not just breaking it down to keywords and fetching the right pages, but really understand the intention behind what you're looking for. So if we're going to read the description here, it basically described the search engine's attempt to generate the most accurate results possible by understanding your search intent, the context of the query that you are putting in, and the relationship between words. It's not just about understanding the one word. If we're looking, if we're going back on the timeline, I think the major milestone was the introduction of the knowledge graph to Google's algorithm, which is basically a massive database of public information. This was first introduced in 2012, 8 years ago. And it's basically a huge database that connects people to things, to events, to any object that we know of. And Google are constantly expanding this database so they can understand very interesting things that they would not understand otherwise. A year later, they introduced the Hummingbird algorithm update, which is a lot considered the beginning of semantic search, the semantic search era, as we know it today. And 2 years later, in 2015, they basically introduced a machine learning system that seeks to understand the user intent behind search queries. And that really created a revolution in the search world. So if we break it down to what exactly does it mean, it allows Google today to distinguish between different entities, understand which entity you are referring to, and what are the connections between the various entities that may be constructing the query that you're using. Under entities, you can find people, you can find places and things in general, and they also look at many more factors like your search history, your location, the global search history of a specific topic, and spelling variations, and many more. So, just as an example, if you're looking for, I'll give you a very simple example that you probably know. If you're looking for a pizza, if you just go online to Google and type pizza, based on your location, you will get different results. Whereas if you were in New York, you would get pizza shops in New York, and you will see something completely different on the Google page. Same goes for your search history. If they know you're interested in a specific topic, they will present different results to you, and it goes deeper and deeper, way further than that. So you might have heard the term universal search, where the results are not, they don't match. They really depend on who is logged into Google and the whole history and search intent. But this is all the whole idea really that Google are trying to develop and evolve. Their mission is always to give you the best possible results for anything you may search online. They're doing a pretty damn good job, I think. So there's a whole science behind it of learning human behavior and search patterns of humans, and trying to implement what they've learned into their machine learning system. So I think that's most people don't understand really, or they're not aware of how much coding and concept lies behind just searching something on Google, but it goes really, really deep, and it's really impressive what they've achieved so far. So I want to give you some two quick examples to really show you what semantic SEO means. For example, if you go to Google today and you type, what is the largest mammal? Google will show you this result that you're seeing right here on the left side. They show you a blue whale. Now note that nowhere in my search query you see the words nor blue, nor whale, nor combination of it. And yet this is what comes up, and it's a result of their knowledge graph and understanding the search intent behind my query. That's pretty impressive when you think about it, compared to the first years of Google, where they would only show you pages where the words largest mammal or what is largest mammal would construct the text. Nowadays, they may show you in the results something that has nothing to do with the actual words that you were using, but it is the right answer for what you were looking for. If you look at the second example to the right, who painted the Mona Lisa, for instance, you get Leonardo da Vinci. And again, I never use the term Leonardo da Vinci in my query, yet this is the result they're giving me. And they're also showing me at the bottom, this is a bit more advanced, what other people were searching for. And when you try to really understand how they do it, it all goes back to what we spoke before about search history, global search history, the knowledge graph, understanding that the Mona Lisa is tied to the entity Leonardo da Vinci, and Leonardo da Vinci is tied to an entity of other artists like Van Gogh, for instance, and also Leonardo DiCaprio, which share the same name. So it's very, very interesting to see how Google interpretate the search intent of a user, and how smart they have become in really giving you the right answers just by understanding the intent behind the search query. Moving on, I want to really discuss a little bit what it means for SEO and what type of applications you can assign to semantic SEO and really benefit from it when you're doing SEO. So first of all, we are all familiar with voice search, whether you're using Siri or Alexa or just the Google Assistant. You go and you press a button, or you just talk to your phone and you ask a question. And you get a response, you get an answer from the search engine that really matches what you were looking for, and it is the way to benefit from it. Let's say you have a website and you want to be present, whether you want to be included in the voice search results or you just want to appear on the page that Google displays when you're looking something using voice. There are two main keys to do it. One is to make sure that your content answer a specific question or a list of them. Because typically when people use voice search, they ask a question like, what is the nearest sushi restaurant near me? Or how's the weather going to be tomorrow? Or maybe some informative questions about anything else. Google tends to prefer pages that provide a specific, highly relevant and profound answer to that specific question. So this is one thing you can do. Just generate content that really answers specific questions in your area of expertise, so you get a chance to actually rank for it, whether using voice search or just people typing questions in Google. And the second point is to use structured schema data, which really helps the search engines to understand your content better. I'll give you an example. You know, when let's say you have an e-commerce shop, you can use schema data. It's called schema.org, if you heard the name, to provide a better description for each product that you're selling online, including user reviews and price. And there's a whole bunch of parameters that you can fill on the page using schema, and that would allow Google to understand better your content, and even, for example, in the example I just gave, provide a 5-star review or the yellow star review on the product, exposing what other people are thinking about the product that you're selling. So this is just a second point. So to summarize, answer specific questions and use structured data, that would allow Google to prefer your content when using voice search. The second big point is to think topics over keywords. Again, if we're going back to the examples I showed you before, you notice that the result doesn't include anything that I typed in, but the topic is much more fundamental. So when you're thinking topics over keywords, you're getting closer to human interaction in a way. And the way to tackle it is to create comprehensive content, not just content that evolves around a specific keyword or a set of keywords, but actually talks about a specific broad topic and breaks it down to additional subtopics, and we will use it. We will show you later on how it's done. It's called content clusters, basically. So a content cluster is a collection of articles or pages or content highly related to one another and complementing one another. That when looked at as a whole, it gives a very good information about the topic that you were targeting with this content. So we're not just talking about sporadic blog posts anymore, but everything. If you really want to rank for a topic with your business, you need to create comprehensive content and use content clusters that would present something a lot more holistic and complete to Google about this topic. And that would show them that you know what you're talking about, that you really have valuable content to share with your users, and that you deserve to rank high on the first page. Focus on search intent. It's not just about doing keyword research or again, writing a blog post around a specific keyword, but for example, if we break it down, let's talk about, let's say you're selling shoes online. So you might just talk about the shoe itself, but you can also evolve it and take it a step further and talk about the search intent behind what the user is looking for. And the user is typically looking to buy a shoe or maybe compare one shoe to another, and that should reflect in the way you do your keyword research and the way you do your content. So you're not just writing about a shoe, but you're writing about why you should buy it, or how this shoe compares to another shoe that the user may be looking at. So the whole idea is really to get into your customer's mind in a way, understand what they're looking for, what they're hoping to find, not just in terms of keywords or just rushing to write a random blog post, but really understand the thought process behind everything they type in and give them a well-structured, comprehensive content that can serve them and therefore rank high on the search results. The last point really about semantic SEO and how you can leverage it for your own good is to emphasize, put a lot of emphasis on user experience. It's all part of the same mission that Google are pursuing. They want to give the best experience to their users, not just in terms of content, but also in terms of user experience. Like, how fast is the page that you are currently looking at? How fast does it load? Is it mobile friendly? Is it something that you can look at using your phone and you will get a good surfing experience? So these points are also very important to complete the picture. And if you do all these points that you're seeing right here in front of you, you should be semantic SEO ready and really leverage from this revolution that just keeps on evolving with the years. Let's talk a little bit about content clusters, and really, because that really affects the way you may be doing your content. So based on our experience, a lot of our clients are putting a lot of energy into writing content, but they lack structure, they lack strategy, and there is no no plan behind the content other than just, hey, let's do an article about selling shoes online, and let's do an article about whatever topic you may think of. The idea is really to take a step backwards and pause for a second and think about the problems that your buyer persona may have. Because this is what drives them to go online in the first place and look for you and the solutions that you offer. So make a list of all the big problems that they're facing, group the problems into broad topics, and then use the keyword research methods to identify and break it down to subtopics. So if we're looking at the example to the right, which may reflect Key Scouts and the way we the type of content that we may be producing for our clients. So you see that there's the website, there's the blog, and under the blog there are three content clusters. One is talking about design, one is talking about marketing, and one is talking about SEO. And each of these topics is a topic by itself, and you can break it down to a lot of subtopic articles that complement this content cluster. For example, SEO may be broken into keyword research, into on-page optimization, into link building, into semantic SEO, and each of these topics would be considered as a subtopic that supports the main article in the center. Now, the main article in the center is typically referred to a pillar article. This is a methodology that was introduced by HubSpot, I believe, several years ago, and it's in terms of length, it's a longer article. It's typically if I need to put a number, it's around 25, between 2,000 to 3,000 words, or even more, where the sub-articles are typically between 800 to 1,000 words each, more typical to the blog, really comprehensive. It talks about, it doesn't go too deep about each and every subtopic, but it covers everything. So it's like, it could be like your beginner guide to SEO, for instance, if we're talking about this example right here. And it can be constructed out of paragraph that talks about keyword research and talk about on-page optimization and site audit and everything else that you need to take into account when you're doing SEO. And each of these paragraphs is linked to a supporting article, which talks specifically about that subtopic in high details. Like keyword research, we would create a subtopic post of around 1,000 words, and we will actually explain the whole process and what tools are we using, and really try to provide as much value to the reader as possible, and then link it to the pillar article. So the sub articles are linked to the main one, and there's also interlinking between the content clusters themselves, because if they're close enough in a topic, there must be some overlapping between the content clusters. So that creates a very powerful structure. And when Google comes to your website and scans your blog, they're not just seeing an article about keyword research. They see a whole network of articles that talks about SEO, providing very high value for the users. And that gives you the chance to actually win very good placement with Google, even if you're not going to win the keyword SEO in this example. You would still generate a lot of traffic and leads from long tail queries that are highly relevant to the content that you produce. And typically, when somebody is using a long-term query to look for something, they have a much higher chance of becoming, of converting or becoming a customer or buying online, because they know what they're looking for. They're not just looking for SEO, because somebody is looking just for SEO, could be looking for a job, could be looking for tutorial videos or anything. They don't necessarily have the search intent that we are looking for in our customers or personas. So that's really an overview of content clusters and what I wanted to share with you. I want to talk a little bit about the SEO tools that we are using, and I broke it down to keyword research, content ideas, off and on page optimization and measuring progress. So on the keyword research realm, there are many fantastic tools that you can use. Again, the idea is if you recall the last slide, start by listing the problems that your buyer personas have, and then break it down to larger topics, and only then go and drill down and find relevant keywords under each of the topics that you have listed. So SEMrush is a fantastic all-in-one SEO tool, and you will see that they appear in any other segment on this table. But I specifically like them for keyword research because they offer a lot of filtering capabilities. So you can actually type a topic and then eliminate many keywords that are irrelevant for what you're looking to write about and what you're looking to, or the search intent that you believe your user should have when coming to your website. Ubersuggest is a tool that traditionally, historically, they actually showed all the autocomplete variations of any keywords that you typed in. This tool was acquired by Neil Patel several years ago, and Neil did a fantastic job, in my opinion, to turn it into a great keyword research tool. I believe it was free up to recently. Now we introduced a different pricing model. You can still use it for free, unlike SEMrush, which is a paid tool, but it's a limited usage. So I think like it put a limit to some degree, where if you want to use it and get more value, you need to become a paid user. Answer the Public is a great visual keyword research tool that focuses on answers to questions that people type online. So you can just uh, uh, search for your topic and see a list of all the questions that people are using online to that are related to the topic that you placed. And again, if you recall the whole what I told you about the voice search and providing content that answers specific questions, this is a great tool that would help you with the research and finding the questions to begin with. A great tool that I think is overlooked is simply go to Google. These are the last two results here, and look at what Google are choosing to display per every query that you type online. So again, if I want to rank for SEO, the first thing I would do before I even go to any of the other tools is to go to Google and type SEO and see what comes up, and see what people are asking about SEO, and see the related search at the bottom of the search results to understand how Google perceive as connected queries to SEO as the main topic. So this is my top 5 selection for keyword research. Moving on to content ideas, there's a fantastic tool that is called BuzzSumo. I don't know if you heard about it, but it's a paid tool, and they keep investing and developing this tool, introducing new features all the time. But the core feature that really makes this tool shine is that they actually, for any query that you type in, they have a huge database of content that they are constantly refreshing, and they're showing you the content based on its popularity on the social network. So if there's a highly popular article about a certain topic, they would measure the amount of Facebook likes and retweets and any other social engagement metric that they could assign to that article. And based on these metrics, that they would rank the articles from top to bottom. And that gives you a very good idea about what type of content really shines online, what people are relating to, and what they like to read, and it gives you a chance to really analyze a certain piece of content and understand why it has become so popular. And then you take what you've learned and you apply to your own content. So you can I don't want to use the word copy, but you can take a similar approach to a very successful article which relates to the topic that you are targeting, and do the same, or maybe leverage the positive points that you have identified in your own content. Again, Google search results, it's very obvious. Just go to Google and see what comes up for any, before you start collecting content ideas. That should give you plenty of ideas what you should target. Quora is a fantastic Q&A database of great quality and great social engagement. And it's a great place to go and simply type your topic in and see what people are actually asking. Again, SEMrush is also, they have a content idea tool based on their huge keyword database and what people are asking online. And finally, Google Trends, which I, again, think is a bit overlooked in the industry. It really gives you very useful information on a large scale, broken down by countries and seasonal effect of queries. For example, in the winter, people would look more for coats than in the summer. And that, I think, is really important to complete your understanding of which ideas you should target with your content. Moving on to on and off page optimization. When I say on page, I mean things you can do within your website, and off page is things you're doing externally, like achieving links from other websites primarily. There's a great tool that was recently introduced in the SEO space. I think it's like a year ago, something like that. It's called Surfer SEO. And what I like about this tool is that they actually take a very analytical approach to comparing your own page with the top 10 pages that comes on Google. So let's say you want to, you wrote a piece of content and you passed the keyword research, the content ideas, everything is ready and the content is up and running, and now you want to really optimize it for SEO. So you would go into this tool and you would provide you would type the search query that you want to rank for, and then you would provide the page that you have written, and this tool will show you, judging by the top 10 results on Google, how well you stack against the competition in terms of pretty much any on-page parameter you can think of, from meta tags to the length of your content, to using headers, to keyword density, and everything else you need to know. They really break it down to a very nice report, and they show you that you need to add, let's say, 500 words to your article in order for you to be in the same benchmark with the top 10 results for that specific query. So they actually, they analyze your page and your search query, and they give you very specific optimization instructions that would allow you to take your content to the next level and really increase the chances that it will rank with Google. Same goes, by the way, with link building. They show you all the websites that are currently linking to your competition, the top 10 results, based on the page that you provided and the query that you provided. And it shows you, it tells you that, if you want to obtain links, here is the list of websites that you should go after if you want to match the top 10 competitors for that topic on Google. So it's a very useful tool. There's a bit of a learning curve, but I think it's well worth it. SEMrush, again, here as well, gives a very good analytical data, both off-page by analyzing your incoming link partners, and also providing some great SEO audit tools that enables you to pretty much analyze any page on your website. And finally, there's the Google Search Console, which is a very useful tool in SEO because unlike Google Analytics, they actually break it down to queries that Google know that you are ranking for, and they're driving traffic to your site. So this is Google's way to actually tell you what do you need to improve on your website and how well your website is performing in their eyes. So to me, it's a must-go tool in any SEO work that you're doing. The last topic is about measuring progress, which is a very important point. So you can do all these things that we've talked about up until now, keyword research and coming up with content clusters and writing content and doing the SEO optimization and building links and everything. If you want to measure, if you wouldn't know how to measure your actions, you wouldn't know whether you did good and what you need to improve and how effective your work has been up to that point. So you have to invest in measuring your progress all the time. And the go-to tool, the most obvious, is Google Analytics. I'm sure most of you are familiar with it. We are also using HubSpot, obviously, with HubSpot clients. They provide some very good, insightful reports. Google Search Console, obviously, again, it shows what type of queries your website actually ranks for, which is something that you cannot get from any other tool, with the exception of SEMrush. And then SEMrush, obviously, again, showing a lot of, they're giving a very holistic overview of the whole of your progress when it comes to keywords as a whole. So that's a very good tool to use across the board. I want to talk about how to measure SEO success because I think, again, it's something that a lot of people who are dealing with SEO, they overlook and don't really understand or don't even pay attention to and allocate time to do these tasks. So the obvious is really to check the rankings of your target keywords, and you can use any keyword ranking tool out there. We're using SEMrush at Key Scouts. You should analyze your organic traffic using Google Analytics and HubSpot, and obviously measure the leads and conversion rates, again, using Google Analytics and HubSpot. But the not so obvious things you can do is measure the amount of impressions and clicks on Google Search Console, and then eliminate or filter the brand versus not brand keywords. So, for example, in many of our projects with our customers, customers really want to know how well they have expanded their visibility on keywords that are not related to their brand. Because to them, this is, and it's true, this is the chance to actually attract new potential customers that don't know, they're not familiar with the brand to begin with. So this is something you can do very easily on Google Search Console if you know how to use this platform. The second thing we are looking at is the total amount of keywords that you rank for and this is something that SEMrush gives us very easily. And the reason why it's important, it gives you a holistic view of your visibility, and it allows you to compare one month to another. So you can, for example, take the past 3 months and compare them to the previous 3 months, and see that you have increased the total amount of keywords that the website is ranked for, including all the long tails and everything else. And that's really is a great indication that overall you're making good progress, or maybe you're declining and you're failing to increase your visibility online. Using Google Analytics, other than the obvious, measuring organic traffic, the most important thing that we are using this platform for is really to look at the content behavior and see how well every page that we have optimized has been performing over time compared to the previous of before we actually optimized the page. So if you are introducing a new blog post, or if you optimize an existing page on a website, you would want to track the before and after on Google Analytics to actually see how it impacts the organic traffic, how this page specifically plays a role in your overall SEO progress. We are also looking at user behavior metrics such as time on page, bounce rate, and some other parameters. Again, it gives us a great indication about the quality of the organic traffic that we are sending to every website. So if the time on page is short, it's a red flag, or if the bounce rate is high, it's a red flag, because it means that there isn't a good match between what the people are looking for and what they're finding on the website. So either the traffic is wrong, either the content is wrong, and we need to improve it. But there's a lot of takeaways that you can extract from looking at these parameters. And the final point is really to break down the traffic by country and device. If you're going international with your promotional efforts, you maybe you may want to focus on a specific country, or you may want to focus on mobile traffic because you believe that your clients are looking for you using their mobile device way more than they would use their laptops. I don't know, for example, again, if you're selling pizza, then most likely people would use their mobile devices because they're not near their computers when they want to eat, just as an example. So that really concludes the measuring aspect of SEO. And Risa, I think I can turn it back to you, so you
Yes,
can.
for sure. Thank you for that lovely introduction you managed to
Right.
send me to. So thanks for that. So now, guys, I'm going to show you. Tomo mentioned actually one tool that he uses out of the many tools. I never knew how many tools SEO people used. So on my side, we usually use HubSpot to track certain things. And as I mentioned earlier, not many people know how to use HubSpot really for SEO. So in this exercise, I'm going to show you how HubSpot is giving you just what I call a sneak peek into your SEO activities, so you can really use it to measure it. Again, you do need to use it with other tools, as Thomas explained. It's not an all-encompassing SEO tool. For example, it can't give you competitors analysis and things like this, but it does show you how your site is performing and how different topics you're ranking for, how well you're doing. So first of all, how do you find the SEO tool in HubSpot? You need to get into marketing, planning and strategy, and it's an SEO tool here. So once you click this, you get to this page. And basically, the first thing you have to do is define which topics you would like to rank for. So for example, in this example I'm going to show you, this client is deciding to rank only for 2 topics. So we are working on ranking for the topic MLOps and data science. So you simply add a topic first of all, and once you add a topic, Google will tell you, well, HubSpot using some SEO tool tells you what's the monthly search volume for that topic and what's the difficulty for ranking that topic. So it's mainly very straightforward how to do it. Once you get into the topic and you've chosen it, this is the topic clusters and the pillar page that Thomas spoke of earlier. So first you have to define what is your pillar page. So your pillar page, it's like so this is the center of the page. This is what you want to rank for. And this is your main page that you want to drive traffic to. So first of all, you build your pillar page. And in this case, you can see that for this client, their pillar page is MLOps page. It talks all about MLOps. And you can see all the information here. Now, what's interesting about the pillar page now, you have to define what keywords, or rather subtopics, you're going to connect to that topic. So once you've defined your subtopics, you start building out the branches. Now, as part of your content strategy plan, you might be thinking about these topics already. So you start building the topics as you need, and it goes around and round until you can add as many as you want, but you don't have to populate all. But the minute you decide to start writing blog content, or you write a PR, for instance, or any type of content, even when you do guest posts, you should take the opportunity to place a link that comes back to your main pillar topic, because this again helps Google to understand how much of an authority you are, as Thomas explained. So the more backlinks you have, whether it's internal links or external links, this page will begin to rank more and more higher within Google search engines. So again, you just add your subtopics. Again, Google will show you how many searches are for these types of subtopic keywords you choose. And then you have the option to rank your blog or whatever topic you choose for it. And when you go into the blog post, you would see that there will be a link somewhere in the blog post that is linking back to that pillar topic. So this is how you build that kind of cluster strategy, pillar content cluster strategy within HubSpot. And then once you're doing this, you get to track the performance of the content. So over time, you get to see how many people come to the content page, how much time they spend. And as Thomas rightfully mentioned, you want to track the bounce rate, because you want to see if you're bringing relevant traffic. And just to remind you, your bounce rate means that someone came to that page and that page only, and they left. They did not go on to a second page. So when you see a bounce rate of 85%, you want to reduce this as much as possible to something like 50%. This is a really decent bounce rate. So you want to make sure that people are going on to different parts of your websites at the end of the day. So just to give you a very good view of what a pillar page really should look like as well, of course, the gurus HubSpot themselves do it the best. And we are talking about SEO. So of course, they have a pillar page talking about the ultimate guide to SEO. And you would see in this pillar page, as Thomas mentioned earlier, you do have to have at least 2,000 to 3,000 words on this page. It has to be an extremely encompassing page. And one of the features that pillar page has as well, it's what's called a sub-menu. So you need to actually, because you have so much content and it's a lot of different topics you're talking about, having this sub-menu on the page allows people to click on it and get to that section of the page. So, you know, today, no one is going to sit down and read a 3,000 to 5,000 page blog, but they would like to read and scan different sections. So the sub-menu allows them to do that quite easily. And then what HubSpot has done is taken all of their blogs, and within all of their different blogs, you would always see a link that comes right back to this pillar page. So this link they have, Ultimate Guide to SEO, brings you back right back to this page for them. So you have 2 blogs already where they mention Ultimate SEO Guide, and the blogs talk about different topics, right? So here the blogs are talking about 19 SEO tips, or how to do something with SEO. And each of these posts that they have invested in, they made sure to put a link back to their pillar topic. So this is how sites like HubSpot do very well on search engines, because they have mastered the art of backlinking and internal links, which is super important for your SEO content strategy. More importantly though, you do want to also track, you know, as you mentioned, Thomas mentioned as well, how is SEO and your organic traffic being affected by your SEO efforts? So just to make sure it's clear, when you do good SEO, it means your organic traffic is going to increase. And you can see for this client, just in this year alone, in the last 5 months, that we've implemented an SEO strategy for them that has a plan and has, you know, a strategy behind it, that their organic traffic started to increase. So in the last couple of months, from just below 3,000 to just above under 5,000 contacts are coming to their site. And this will only continue to grow the more you invest in it. So it's not a short-term strategy. It's not a quick win. If you want quick wins, you do have to invest in something more like PPC. But as you go more and more in your business, and as your business scales, you do have to invest in these long-term efforts, because as we spoke in the very beginning, the idea now is for you to be found online. More and more people are going to be doing their searches online. If they haven't been doing it before, they're being forced to do it now more than ever. So there's no better time to invest in your SEO efforts than now, because without it, you will not be able to gain the attention of your audience that you're looking for. So with just a few tweaks and a few efforts and a few investments, you can see these results and see how things are increasing drastically for you as you continue in your business. So this is it really for us. I just want you to remind you that, again, if you enjoy our workshops, feel free to always leave us a review on our HubSpot page. I will send you the link. It will be posted on the video. It will be posted in the emails. But we are open now to having any questions that you may like to ask. And I did see that we had a couple, so let me just get to them. So Tom, will get ready because you have some questions that people wanted asked, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so the first question, Toma, was, how long will it take to get rankings when you start using SEO?
Oh, it's a good question. I'm trying to activate my video, by the way.
You don't?
And it says that the host has stopped it, Risa.
Oh, what did I do to you? Sorry, my dear.
I don't know.
Okay, but go ahead. I'll fix it while you answer the question.
Okay, so I think it's a good question, and it's a hard one to answer because it really relates on your industry, your competition, how aggressive do you want to be. But to give you a ballpark number, what we're seeing with most of our clients and projects is typically you're starting to see an increase somewhere between 3 to 6 months. But the impact on your business is amazing. I mean, the longer you sustain this effort and you keep on pushing, it's a game changer. And that's something that I don't know. In Israel, for some reason, we're having a hard time explaining this to people because everybody wants everything and they want it now, and that's understandable. But SEO again is a long-term effort, and if you want to take this route, you need to really aim for the long run, and it would pay off big time, way exceeding your expectations. With that said, there's a method to actually achieve quick wins where you would see some great SEO results within a month. And the way to do it is really to analyze what your website is currently ranking for, let's say in the top 3 pages on Google, and just do some touch points and optimizations on these pages for these keywords that would simply boost them up like 10, 20 spots, and bang, you're on the first page of Google within a month, starting to generate traffic. But where it comes to new terms and a new SEO strategy that you are pursuing, it typically takes at least 3 months to start seeing a progress.
Amazing. One more question I see here is, why should I continue SEO once I have good rankings? Should I invest in it even further?
I think the answer is yes. First of all, you need to maintain your success. So if you're going to stop doing SEO, if you're going to stop writing content, you're going to sink back down. Google always want to see fresh content on your website. This is the reason they gave you the stage to begin with. So that's one aspect to my answer. The second one, there's constant evolving, and there's always more ground to cover with SEO. I can take any topic that you bring to me and really generate a list of 20 topics and just keep expanding and finding more ways that your customers are looking for you. So it's really, it's I think it goes to the real question is, how big do you want your business to grow? How ambitious are you about your business? So if you have enough clients and you feel that you can't handle anymore and you don't want to handle anymore, then maybe the answer is, stop your SEO, just maintain what you have, and that's it. But from my experience, most businesses, they just want to keep growing and growing and generate more revenue and do more of the same. And therefore, SEO is really a fantastic growth strategy for the long run.
Amazing. So guys, I just want to wrap up right now by leaving you with some gems. So you will soon get this presentation and you will soon have this video as well. But in this presentation, do look out for this slide where we give you some resources that helps you understand further how to build the topic clusters and pillar pages, especially within HubSpot. And we do have a really good gem about how to set your content marketing strategy using this workbook that HubSpot provided. So do take the time to actually go through this and check out these resources to really help you understand how to get started or how to even boost your SEO strategy from today. Also, if you have questions, you want to talk to any of us, you can feel free to reach out to Toma or myself. Toma is the SEO expert, so please, if you have the SEO questions, you need to reach out to Toma. I cannot promise to help you. I am your HubSpot expert, so I can help you within HubSpot. But for all your SEO questions, feel free to reach out to Toma. This is his email access here. I've worked with him previously, so I can attest to his skills and what he can do for you and your business. So feel free to be there. And I just want to wrap up now by leaving you with these key takeaways. So if you did not understand or you didn't get everything that was said throughout this webinar, just remember these 6 points. First of all, think topic over keywords. As Tomo explained thoroughly throughout this webinar, Google is no longer just looking for keywords. As he showed you in the very first examples, you cannot just Google one word and expect to see that exact word come up in the results. Google has become much smarter to think about topics that you want to own and become an expert over. Second, focus on search intent. Understand what people are going to use and search for. And this is really done by understanding your buyer personas. So please spend time building those personas and spend time understanding their challenges. Point 3, don't forget your user experience. Having a good optimized site that is fast and also willing to work on mobile very easily is important. So don't forget how your users are going to access your site. Again, and another point is to define one big topic you really want to own. Sometimes we get overexcited and we want to do every single thing. It's important that you understand that with all the information there is out there, having your niche, finding your specialty, and finding what you want to be an expert in is most important. So define your one big topic. Point 5 is to understand the subtopics you want to build around the pillar topic. So really spend time going through your content strategy and going through how you can build different subtopics to support that pillar topic. And last but not least, measure, measure, measure. You cannot define success without measuring things. So make sure you have things in place to show where you started and where you've ended up after investing in all of these efforts. So thank you so much again for everything. Thank you for being here with us. You can follow both Tom and myself on Facebook and LinkedIn. We are very present there. Look out for our company names, Key Scouts and Cacao Media. And again, if you have questions, do feel free to reach out to us on any of these platforms. Toma, I'd just like to say a very big thank you for joining us today. I could not have done this webinar without you, so thank you for volunteering.
My pleasure. It's been an honor. Thank you for inviting me, and I hope to see you all again.
Yes, for sure. So thank you and have a great afternoon.
All right, guys, stay safe. Bye-bye.